Some ups, some downs. Definitely not my best game. Just tried to keep fighting. I think starting with the first drive, kind of getting settled in. Felt like there were times where I was settled in. Felt like there were other times where I needed to play better. But, I think it was not up to my standard of how I would have liked to play.
Walk us through the interception and kind of what you saw.
Yeah, I knew we had points, and so we called basically just a curl concept, slot curl concept, and just trying to felt like it was cover three, ended up being two invert. I was just trying to get the ball to Jamar quickly, not go backwards, get an easy field goal, and the guy just kept buzzing out there and made a bad read.
How much did the lack of running game compromise what you wanted to do on offense when you were third and longs, maybe third and not so manageable because of that?
Yeah, I think anytime as a defense you can make a team one-dimensional, it's definitely in the defense's favor. But, it's not really my job to assess the run game. I got my run game checks. Felt like most of those, I think I was 100% on those, so that's kind of my role in the run game. So I think, long answer, but yes, that does make it difficult, but it's not really my area of focus. I need to focus on being better in the pass game.
What kind of worked on the touchdown play? What was designed to have that kind of come about?
Just a naked off of a counter, and then dumped it off to Drew, and did a good job finishing in the end zone.
What's it been like to see Drew kind of have the year he's had after kind of his first few years here in the league?
Yeah, I think Drew's carving out a nice role for us. Does a lot for us on third down. Does a lot in the run game, and is catching more and more passes, which I think rounds out his entire game. I think everybody knew he's a really good run game tight end and really smart. And so adding that to his game, it definitely makes him more versatile.
You talked all week about being aggressive. How do you feel like you manage the line between pushing the ball and making the play?
I think that's always kind of hard to know until you watch the tape. And it's hard to give a generalized answer. I think there were some where it was good to be aggressive, and I think there were some where could have just checked it down and maybe not taken some sacks. But I think part of me getting back into the groove of playing and stuff like that is kind of figuring out, like, okay, where is that line for me, and where is that line in this offense, and what is that line I need to play on in order to give us the best chance to win the game.
Did you feel you were able to start establishing a chemistry with Jamar today? Big plays, striking downfield. I think you had the third 1 yard down the right sideline.
Yeah. I think anytime Jamar's one-on-one, I'm going to go give him a chance, and I think that's what you want from your primary receiver. And thought he did well and made some plays, and I think anytime he's one-on-one, I'm going to give him a shot.
On the TV, right after you threw the pick, your reaction was you knew exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just made the decision too early in the play. Like, let the play out and let 17 decide if he's going to cover the curl or cover the guy in the flat. And I kind of made the decision without really reading it out to, like, hey, let's just get the ball. They're very soft on Jamar. Let's just get the ball to him, get forward, get three. This is going to be a game that comes down to, it's not going to be a shootout. And so, that was kind of my thought process. And in hindsight, I guess, play out the play and read it out. Don't just see something pre-snap and kind of make a decision.
That cuts from the last start was the Rose Bowl was 2019. That's part of the.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a cop-out for me to sit here and say that any interception was because I haven't played in a while. Like, it's a cop-out. I think I can read out that play and make the right decision.
Is it too early to get a sense of what is the biggest thing you'll build upon going forward from today?
Yeah, probably a little too early. I would say there's just some things like maybe that don't show up on tape, like kind of learning, all right, here's what it looks like to start a game, and I think figure out where that, like I said, where that line is. Playing aggressive, but then also knowing that this isn't going to be a 42 to 45 game, so taking some of those sacks when you're trying to make the play, end up hurting you in some field position stuff. And I think just the overall experience I will build from, and being able to see myself on tape and critique it pretty hard will be good for me too.
Two things. First, were you dealing with any kind of hand issue with the TV?
I just started cramping.
Okay. And then, how much do you think the early down efficiency over the course of the year, not just today, but how much has that kind of maybe led to why the offense hasn't been maybe what y'all needed to be when you're in second and long?
Yeah, I think anytime you get behind the sticks, especially in this division with all the really good defenses and really good pass rushers, it's going to be difficult. And as far as an assessment on the overall first down efficiency, I'd be lying if I had any real assessment on that. But in general, yeah, that's going to really make it difficult against. You look at our division and you look at the last two games, and we played against two of the best defenses in two of the first cracks at live action in the NFL for me. And so you need to stay ahead of the sticks. We need to be more efficient. And, I think everybody plays a role in that, but I'm just going to focus on my role, which is getting the ball out quicker and finding that line that I've kind of gone back to.
I know it may only seem like 3 yards, but from a quarterback perspective, what's like from your vantage point, what's the difference when you're like in a second and 6 or 5 versus like a second and 9 or 8? What is that, from an offensive standpoint, how is that different?
I think the main goal is to stay out of third and long. And third and longs are very difficult, and especially against a defense like that. And so I think when you're behind the sticks on second down, there's a lot of pressure to get an efficient play on that second down. And so your play calls kind of go down, and some defenses will even start calling their third down calls on second down because they know, hey, they're going to throw here. And so I think that makes it difficult. And staying ahead of the sticks, like the one drive where we go down and score, stayed ahead of the sticks, stayed out of third down, had some good play action, called a couple screens that were good. And, I think that's ideally how you would like an offensive drive to go. And you kind of saw how efficient we were there and that capability to be that efficient. But we just got to find that efficiency consistently.
Jake, you waited so long for this moment, and now it's here. Can you appreciate that, or does the loss color over it, or there's a balance in there?
Yeah, I think, over the next 24 hours maybe, or at some point it will not feel like just pissed that we lost. Or maybe it'll take a year or two, but I think just lost a close game where you feel like you didn't play your best and we didn't play well enough on offense. And only gave up 16 points on defense and we lost. And so, I think that's kind of my primary thought in my head.